Good morning. Let's have a look at the vocabularies related to economic. So these are some of the vocabularies from the newspaper headlines. Have a look at this and then try to identify the word meaning. So without wasting time, let's see the vocabularies related to this. So first let's start with credit crunch. So the best vocabulary which I felt this thing. So it has a credit card along with the crunch chocolate bar. So credit crunch means you can see the graph will be going down. One second. So these are the best pictures for that credit crunch. Credit crunch. Okay. So what does this mean? Okay, here the money is. So what exactly it is? So credit crunch means it's a situations. So it simply means that it is a situation where bank is not providing the loan. Banks reduce the availability of loans or credits to customers due to their fear of not being repaid. Sometimes bank won't allow us credits or loans because they fear we won't be pay them back. So that is known as credit crunch. Okay, credit crunch. Okay, otherwise if you are learning without this, you will remember the spelling something or anything you will remember, but there are possibilities that there is a possibility that you can forget this. So always remember with picture. So much I searched for each word. I didn't find out satisfactory pictures. Okay, but I will try to explain credit crunch. So example is the credit crunch has led banks to tighten the conditions required to get a credit. The credit crunch has led banks to tighten the conditions required to get a credit. So nowadays they are not giving this credit or loan because of credit crunch. They fear. So next word is economic meltdown. Okay, I need to search. Okay, I haven't searched for that. Let us see. Economic meltdown. Actually, I saw one picture. Not recently, so I'm not sure whether it is the. Okay, so anyway, you know meltdown, right? Meltdown. Exactly, meltdown is not the. So just to remember, economic meltdown. Sorry, even if that picture is properly, it's not the. Okay, I hope you can get that idea what I'm trying to say. That again, it's a meaning where there is like this much, like the graph is going down. That is known as economic meltdown. A severe and often sudden deterioration of financial institutions and assets, resulting in huge financial loss. So there is a huge, it is severe and often sudden. So no one is expecting for an economic recession at that time. If sudden, it's in that case it's known as economic meltdown. So in sometimes in case of corona, we can say economic meltdown happened. This economic meltdown is the worst economic crisis since the stock market crash in 1929. This economic meltdown is the worst economic crisis since the stock market crashed in 1929. Now, what is financial bailout? So, financial assistance to business institutions to avoid their collapse. So there is a situations that sometimes in the economic crisis the bank won't be able to survive by themselves. In that case, government will be providing funds to support the banks or someone to in order that there won't there that consequences of economic crisis will be reduced. So that is known as financial bailout. Financial assistance to business institutions, that means bank, to avoid their collapse. Otherwise the bank itself will be collapsing. The US government has decided to fund a bailout of the banking industry. Now banks have been bailed out by the government. Okay, next word is mortgage. R will be silent. It means loan. Okay. Banks usually give mortgage loans under certain conditions. Now next word is what is inflation? Okay. Inflation means it's continuous increase in prices. So whatever goods or materials that we buy from outside, if that prices get continual increase of that, then it is known as inflation. Opposite is known as deflation. Okay, because of the inflation prices went up, so the price of the materials, the goods, vegetables, whatever we are buying, it went up. The control of inflation is a key component of the government's economic policy. There has been an alarming rise in the rate of inflation. So alarming rise. Okay. Unemployment, inflation and greater inequality are often the downside of a market economy. Unemployment, inflation, greater inequality are often downside of market economy. So in the picture here it was the some more inflation, the price increased. What do you mean by source? Okay, it's a good vocabulary, which means soar means rise quickly, like we say skyrocketing. What is the opposite of skyrocketing? That is known as plummeting. Sudden drop, like falling from a parachute, that is a sudden drop. So plummet spelling is Plummet. So means what? It's skyrocketing. Okay. To rise very quickly, yes, you can write in the graphs. So it's good vocabulary, is considered as a benign level. So to rise very quickly to a high level. So all night long fireworks soared into the sky. Rise quickly into the sky, soared into the sky. Temperatures will soar over the weekend, says the weather forecasters. House prices soared a further, okay, soared a further 20%. So see it whatever coming after soar is changing, right? Soared into the sky, soared over the weekend. It's an extended period that soared over the weekend, soared a further 20%. Now what do you mean by go bust? Go bust means, see somewhere it is the 500 firms could go bust. What is the meaning? So go bust means to go broke. Okay, the company has gone bust. Okay, go bust means the company has gone bust, means it's broke, to go broke. Now tumble. Okay, to fall or say tumble also means plummeting, like fall suddenly, decline rapidly. Prices on the stock market tumble today. Okay. So this is falling quickly, right? It's also known as a movement. It's related to gym also, like exercise. Okay. So this is like a tumble. Now slump. Again slump means slump is a common vocabulary in the news headlines. Okay, a sudden or severe or prolonged fall in the price. It again means decrease, fall. A slump in profit means reduce. Tumble means also drop. Go means go bust means go to go broke. So means increase. Okay. Regulate. To regulate the market means to regulation, normal regulate, we will say, right? The stove, in the stove we are regulating the fire, right? That heat coming out of that fire, regulator. To regulate, to control and supervise it. So that only regulate. Many people think that government should regulate markets so that market will be free of fraud, manipulation and illegal speculations. So who has to regulate? Government itself has to regulate. Now what do you mean by speculate? So it's common that real estate's market like to buy or sell security in the hope of deriving. So it's like first we will buy and then sell property in the hope of deriving considerable capital gains in the hope we will get profit. Okay. Investors become speculators. Speculators means observers. They carefully observe the thing. Okay. That only speculate. That person is known as speculators. Investors become speculators when they purchase a stock with the sole purpose of selling it to someone else at a higher price. So that is common in the stock market, right? Speculators. Speculators means a person who invests in stocks in the hope of making a profit. Now recession. So refers to so it's like recession means negative economic growth, that is known as recession. So there won't be any, it leads to unemployment, there won't be any finance flowing in the economy in the market. The current recession has created an increase in unemployment securities. So recently in 2020, after corona, it's considered as a recession period itself. So it is common even at the time of war. Okay, it will be a recession period. So the current recession has created an increase in unemployment securities. Unemployment. Okay. Securitization. Securitization means this refers to the process of transforming assets into security. So whatever property that we are having, that we are changing them to securities. So assigning them a value and being traded. So we are valuing that security, securitization. The securitization of subprime mortgages led to the credit crunch. So here in this sentence itself, several vocabulary are there. Can you remember the credit crunch we learned? Okay, I showed you a SIM like credit card with a crunch chocolate bar. Okay. So that means the bank is not expecting the money they will be getting back. So that's why known as credit crunch. Subprime. Subprime mortgages means loan, and subprime means those who are so poor. It is the meaning is coming next. Subprime mortgages means those who are poor. They don't have a property. They will be provided with subprime mortgages. The securitization of subprime mortgages led to the credit crunch. Subprime mortgages will be discussed in detail. So see the one sentence. This single sentence itself has different vocabularies. That's so good. So two example of security in the stock market are stocks and bonds. So stocks and bonds are considered as securities. Now subprime mortgage. It's a housing loan given to people with poor credit history. If they don't pay that credits in correct time, then they are known as subprime mortgages. They're really poor. Because of their low credit, they can only qualify for subprime mortgages. Now toxic asset. Toxic asset means it's kind of a high risk debt. So high risk debts like if you are giving to the super rich politicians or businessmen, they are not going to give that, return that money. So from the poor they will collect, but from the rich they never collects. So that's known as toxic asset. That's not exactly toxic asset. It refers to, exact meaning is this. This refers to a kind of high risk debts that are unlikely to be paid back to lenders. So they won't pay back. They never pay back. So that kind of high risk debts So the pronunciation is debts, B is silence. Okay, debts that a lenders. Okay, this is one more explanation, and the sentence is here. We are talking about the toxic assets of bank and how we have to clear them. Okay, we have to clear them. So toxic assets. The banks that own toxic assets were unable to resist their collapse, their fall. Okay. Next meaning is trouble asset relief program. So it is known as TARP, TARP, Trouble Asset Relief Program. So it is a plan devised by the US government to buy toxics. So before we discuss about toxic assets, that means there are that are high risk debts that people won't be paying back to the lenders. That is known as toxic asset, and so plan devised by the US government to buy. So government itself will buy this toxic asset to strengthen the financial sector. So government itself is supporting, that is known as TARP. Okay. TARP has been criticized by many people because of the massive cost and the behavior of the banks. So once again, TARP has been criticized by many people because of the massive cost and behavior of the banks. So now let's again look at this. So have a look at this, and now are you able to understand the vocabularies which used in these headlines? So I hope so. I hope you will get. And in case if you forgot to subscribe to my channel, please do that. So thank you.